Welcome back. Now, of course, you would have woken up to the news this morning that southern Lebanon was heavily bombarded last night with at least 31 people, including children, having been killed from Israeli strikes. But Irish troops, they just returned from southern Lebanon last night after a 6-month UN deployment to the region.
Yes, and with us now to reflect on their time there is Commandant Alex Quigley of the Defence Forces. Good morning to you, Alex. We saw on the news there the scenes of joy at Dublin Airport yesterday, the returning soldiers. What's it been like this last 6 months? Because it must have been different from other deployments with what's going on there.
Yeah, certainly. The operational environment was challenging for the personnel that were over there, and I was there in the airport last night and was able to speak to them. But I think that's what our training is there for. So our troops are trained really to the highest standard, and for all the eventualities, they go through a 3-month training exercise, culminating in a mission readiness exercise, which prepares them for all eventualities in a conflict zone. So while it has been challenging, our force protection measures and our training enables our troops to operate in those environments.
But as we see this heavy night of a bombardment that's just happened, targeting southern Lebanon, over 1 million people displaced. And we know Camp Shamrock, there's been great access in that wonderful documentary, that, you get to know locals there. Yeah. I'm just wondering and I know you're doing a job and everything, but these 6 months, there's been a huge change in southern Lebanon. I assume an awful lot of people they know of, they're gone.
Yeah.
Is that what's happened? Is that the reality on the ground?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a significant amount of displaced personnel inside our area of operations and UNIFIL in general, and we would have engaged in a number of projects, humanitarian projects, such as providing blankets and mattresses, for example, for displaced personnel in these regions. And, Irish personnel have been there for almost 50 years, 5 decades. So there's been relationships established over those 5 decades, and we had the personnel, or rather the locals, express to our battalion, their fears of us leaving in 2027. So it certainly is a forlorn experience, and it's a sad experience for many, but our role there is to monitor and report and observe as the eyes and ears of the international community. So that is why we're there.
And I was just because I was asking you off air, why are the soldiers there? So that's why they're there. But how many are there? How many Irish soldiers are there?
We have 344. So today, I suppose, marks the first day, really, of the 128th Infantry Battalion's 6 months. They are there in the camp by themselves. For the last 2 weeks, there would have been a handover period between the 2 battalion commanders, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Lennon, who came home yesterday, and Lieutenant Colonel Damon Carroll, who takes over. And today is really the first day where they're standing on their own 2 feet, and they now begin into their 6 months.
And what's daily life there like for them?
Yeah, so United Nations Post 2-45, as we would call it, or Camp Shamrock, as people say, it's like a small village almost. It has all the amenities you require. A cookhouse, our army chefs are there. It has a gym, all your accommodation. And it's but then again, on top of it, we have the military layer. So you have your armory, all of your bunkers. You sleep with your rifle and your body armour under your bed. So it's like a mini village with an added military component to it. So our personnel, they can, when they're in their off duty, they can go to the gym, or they can do recreation activities, and then you can switch into your operational footing and go out the gate.
There is real danger there. We have to remember Sean Rooney,
yes,
who passed away under attack from Hezbollah, because again, we say Camp Shamrock, and it's lovely, but you're going into a war zone.
No, absolutely. And I think it's important to say the Army trains soldiers. That's our job. So when you join the Defence Forces, you train in what is essentially like conventional military combat training. And our role is to be in these conflict zones. You wouldn't deploy the military if there wasn't a threat. So we are trained for those scenarios. And we operate there, and the loss of Sean Rooney is one that's still felt today in the Defence Forces. And we had the 6 peacekeepers from Indonesia and from France that were killed, tragically killed in Lebanon. And I suppose it does bring a stark reminder. But the thing, and what we try and say, is you need to kind of trust in our training and trust in the troops that are over there. They're not only are they where they want to be, but they're where they have to be.
But it obviously affects morale.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, Lieutenant Colonel Lennon yesterday said as times got tougher, morale got higher. And I think it's important to say, when we had a rotation coming home, they were looking for volunteers to come on an early rotation home. And of the 20 people, only 2 volunteered.
Yeah.
They had to put 18 on the plane because they didn't want to go. And if you look at the Ghanaian incident, the medical evacuation that we did for our Ghanaian colleagues, our troops were in the bunkers at the time because of the firing. And when we have people out of the bunkers, of course, during these times to make sure they're still observing. and the tank ground was seen coming into the camp and the fire was seen, and the Irish battalion put their hands up and said, we'll go, you know. So I suppose the troops are trained for this, and not only they want to do this.
Because you're there as a peacekeeping force, and it's amazing what you do. But you do have Hezbollah on one side, right? And then a few months ago, you had the Israeli military saying, move. Like they were encroaching, they were getting closer and closer, and of course we know they're encroaching into southern Lebanon. And, you know, in this new world that we live in, that's a very dangerous position to be in, physically, but also politically and mentally, right? Because you're meant to be like, lads, calm down.
Yeah.
And then you've got this big force.
Yeah.
This force that's, you know, meant to be part of the UN Charter, Israel, saying move.
Yeah.
That's mad, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I just go back. That's our job at the end of the day. You know, that's why we're in UNIFIL. So again, that's what we train for. And there may be an increased risk, but it's not new to us. You know, in the earlier missions in Lebanon, it would have been the same case with, you know, Israeli Defence Forces operating in the UNIFIL AO. So it's not new to us. It's something that we train for, and every single battalion that goes over there trains, I suppose, on the history of the ones that come before it. So
the charter goes until the 31st of December this year.
Exactly. So the mandate, the operational side of the mandate, ends the 31st of December 2026. Yes.
Does that mean it ends for you? You come home?
Yeah. So the mission will close in 2027.
The mission, like the UNIFIL mission.
Yes, UNIFIL will close.
The 50-year mission.
Yes.
So then what happens?
Gone.
It will close. Yes.
Is it because it's gotten too dangerous?
No. So the United Nations Security Council voted to end the mandate.
So how does that make sense then? Because you're there and you're saying this is what you're doing, your peacekeeping force. There's other countries, there's Spain, there's all these other countries. So then you just go, okay, get out now. Why? Like that surely doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I suppose you'd have to ask the Security Council probably that question. But I think from an Irish point of view, you know, we've had generations there, and we've had soldiers that started there as young men and women, and their children are going. So we have a massive history there. I think it's safe to say we would want to stay there if we could.
Yes.
But you know, other European nations may be staying in a bilateral agreement. But I suppose the UNIFIL mandate, as we know it, is coming to an end.
A Security Council decision at UN level.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Not an Irish decision. No, certainly not. Well, listen, congratulations to everyone who came home. It looked absolutely lovely.
It was great, yeah.
And may everyone be very, very safe over there. We really appreciate Commandant Alex Quigley. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really do appreciate it. Still to come yesterday, the trial of former DUP leader Jeffrey Donaldson. It began, and we'll be chatting about that very shortly on Ireland AM.